This is the improvisation etude from level 6 APP called Heavy Footed. Now, most of the little lessons I've been doing, in fact all of them, have been on module 1, but this time we're starting on module 2. The modules are slightly progressive, and in the upper levels, from level 6 to 8 also, the format changes. We end up with left-hand chords first, and then some suggestions for right hand, and then we put the hands together. Would you like to play me an F major chord? Sure. And then an F7. You can use two hands if you like. And it's going to have a flat 7th at the top, which would be an E flat. That's right. Now, what would be a first inversion, F7? That's right, with an A at the bottom. Second inversion. Third inversion. Now that sounds obscure, doesn't it? But in fact, the first thing you play is a third inversion of an F7 chord, down an octave and without the F. So you get this sound. So we're going to start in that position, and then it goes to this chord, which is a D instead, okay? And then the only other chord is this chord. That's right. So I think you've got your chords ready, haven't you? And we're going to try with the backing track now. 1, 2. It's a bit Batman, isn't it? Well done. Now what we do is we drop the left hand altogether for a moment and think about the right hand. Because you've looked at module 1, you realise that you can use it. Is it the F blues scale? Just try the F blues scale for me. That's it. Oh, and an F at the top. I'd suggest that you don't bother using the whole scale at the moment. Use the first 5-finger position. Just do that. That's much easier to start with, isn't it? And what I'd like you to do, this is idea and variation, is to play an idea using that little scale and then play a variation of it. Now, do you want me to demonstrate, or would you don't want to go straight into it?
I'll go straight into it.
Even better. That's it. You've already demonstrated it very well. And the other idea which you've got suggested is grace notes. B natural to C, or B flat to A flat, or you might be able to go like, you could just experiment. I quite like that one as well. As just try some grace notes without the music, just see what you like the sound of. Have a little go with the grace note idea now. Experiment to see which ones you like. Have lots of grace notes this time. 1, 2. Good, and then call and response. This is really good fun. This is where you have an idea and you answer it with a different idea, but I'd suggest you consider answering it up an octave. Keep it simple. Call and response. Back. You're a very good example of a student. That's very good. So now what we're going to do is play through the whole chord sequence, but I've given you 3 different things you can possibly do if you want to. Good, that's really good. And this is where you do the same thing, but you do it with both hands. So let's try this straight in, because it feels so good with both hands, I think. I'll shout at you when you need to change to the D in the bass, shall I? Maybe. I'll say something quietly in your ear. Now, that's really good. At a certain point, you started to make up your own left-hand rhythms, didn't you? Did you notice that? That you felt as a nice thing to do an extra rhythm with the left hand. That's what I'm hoping you'll do. You'll end up finding there are things you can do with both hands, which you didn't realise you could do. The hands play off against each other as well. Now, have you looked at the vamping at all? You have?
A little bit.
A little bit. So this is where you play the left hand and you actually play figures in your right hand, so you're actually accompanying yourself. You're being the bass player as well as the guitarist, you might say. Yeah, that's quite tricky, isn't it? Okay, but the idea is then. So I'm kind of starting to loosen it up and jam it a bit, and you get the different chords. And I know you could end up doing that, where you actually start to feel really much looser about that. But that's just a bit of drilling, if you like, of getting used to it. Module 2 of a piece from the APP level 6.